We are live.
Ooh, awesome. Woo. I'll give everybody a few minutes to get on here. So we invited a few of our friends. Hopefully some will show up for Together Tuesdays. We actually had to reschedule Marty. Marty had something awesome come up. He's in California, um,
Oh yeah, I
hanging
saw
out.
his post about yeah, he's out there at a show, right, or something.
Yes. And so he is sending, of course, his well wishes to us and apologies for not being able to make his scheduled Together Tuesday debut. But he will definitely be on for next Tuesday, the 19th, which also happens to be Ted's birthday. So we're all going to
Hey
sing
now.
Oh
happy
hey.
birthday. So all of you guys have to come back. So hopefully we'll have more people join us here in a little bit. I know we're just getting started. Um, so I'm excited to have you guys join to hang out with us for today. There she is.
I
Hi,
was actually starting to get a
Maria.
little.
I was wondering, she said she was going to make it today. Hi, Maria. How are you? There
There.
she is.
Sorry, waiting for the connection to go through. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hello.
How are you? Annie, you're twice.
I know. I don't know. I have my so I don't know if you saw the recording with Rini
Yeah.
when we were it was like right at 9 o'clock, my laptop completely shut down. So so I have a backup plan. The only thing is I don't have a camera and I don't have a microphone for the desktop, but I could chat. So if this one crashes, then
Gotcha.
we
Okay.
have a
It's good
backup
to
plan.
have a plan B.
Yes, always, always. So, but yay, I'm excited. We're online, we're streaming, we're uh I invited some of our friends today.
I
Our
see that.
adult,
Welcome, everybody.
yes, our adult community. If you are on social media and you see us, come join us. We're just chattering today. Um, so welcome everybody to Together Tuesdays with AMCSI. Hey, Steven. Excited to see you here.
Glad to be here.
We are obviously live on Facebook, and we are also recording our session, so you can watch this session later if you happen to miss it, or if you're on another side of the country that you might not be able to view this right now. But we are also taking questions, Q&A via our Facebook chat, so feel free to um, ask your questions in there. I have a set of questions already locked and loaded that a few of our families have submitted for today for our adults with AMC. But first,
Awesome.
I wanted to get a few words from Maria because we are already locked and loaded. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Sorry, live stream. Technical difficulties. But we are going to just kind of give a brief overview of the end of year giving, which is happening now. You'll see a good bit of social media posts in that regard on for the end of, I can't believe we're ending
23.
2023.
I
Wow.
know.
It's insane. So of course we would love your support, and I know that Maria, um, with oh gosh, it's been over a year now that you've been with us.
A year and a month.
A year and a month. That's exciting. Exciting. So yeah. So Maria, take us off. Like, tell us
Yes.
what we tell us about your year real quick, and then of course where what do you see for 2024,
So it's been
and of
an
course the computing.
Sure. So it's been an exciting year, not only a lot of learning for myself, but I think I speak on behalf of the board that it's been a learning year for everybody. Um, how to build a stronger foundation that can withstand the vision that we have long term. all of the backbone that really will enable us to face 2024 in an even more passionate and stronger manner, with more resources, with additional value added, better ways to communicate and connect with our membership, which is who we're here for, right? We're here for the community, and you all will always be our priority. So most everything that we have done, besides the boring stuff that nobody wants to hear about, the budgeting and processes, procedures and bylaws and compliance and all of those things that are required to keep us on the up and up. But besides that, everything has been about all of you. So I think it's important for people to know that everything that we do, we always think about how will the community receive it? How will the community embrace it? How will the community feel about this? How are we able to provide value? How are we able to help? What are the voices that are not heard that we need to provide a platform for? What are some of those examples that are just so powerful and that are worth sharing with everybody else, because they will resonate with not only us, but everybody else in the community. And some of those words, you just never know when somebody needs to hear them. So we become the conduit and the platform for that as well. Um, there's so much going on with mental health. There's so much going on in the world overall that, it's one of the reasons why I love these sessions, because we provide a very different feel and discussion topic every week. I love seeing more and more faces every single week. It just goes to show that we're doing something right. And hopefully there'll be more of these and more people joining as well. So as far as the end of year giving that Annie mentioned, as you all know, we really function as a foundation, as a charity, and we don't have a lot of programs. We don't have a lot of funding, in the sense that we don't have government support. We don't qualify for a lot of grants. So we're so grateful to our community and sponsors and organizations who rally behind what we do, who understand um, the community as a whole, who want to give back, who want to support, and for the families that are within the community already, who year after year have held fundraisers, some for many, many years, some are just starting out. We're launching more opportunities for peer-to-peer funding. We are developing a how-to blueprint so that we can all contribute and give back to the community. So the end of year giving is really known for the month of December. It follows Tuesday giving, which was the last Tuesday in November. All nonprofits are looking at this time of the year to really finish the year strong. So for anybody who has been waiting or would like to make a donation, who would like to donate a membership for someone else, that's something many of us have done. We have pre-purchased a number of memberships so that those who may not be able to afford those can access all of the benefits. Those are listed on the store. The sales from the store also go to support the grants that we offer, which we continue to expand, not only the research, which we continue to do, Misha's travel. Goodness, there's so many. We now have the accessibility grant, which is intended to help with small repairs and improvements to a home or otherwise that people may need. And there's so many more, and they're on the website. I know we have shared those before, so feel free to look at those. That's our way of giving back as well. Gifting individuals the option to attend the conference at no cost, taking college classes, improving yourself. So there's just a lot that we do, and we wouldn't be able to do it without the support and generosity of those who believe in AMCSI and what we are doing as a team. So that's what this month is about, is the final push in fundraising. So if you have ideas, if you have it in you to give back, volunteer, someone who may have an appreciation and maybe looking for an opportunity. There's some organizations that I know that work in the financial realm, and I was chatting with them late last week, and they mentioned we have individuals who have done very well investing, and they want to reduce their tax implication. And so for them to reduce their tax liability, they can make donations. So of course, I'm pitching them AMCSI as an option for them to maybe make a donation to us, and in doing so, benefit us and them as well. So there's just so many ways in which we can really partner on this. Not to mention that for those of you who work for larger organizations, there may be a match program or corporate match. So for every dollar that you donate or volunteer, time that you volunteer, it's not always just about money. They may actually match that with a financial donation. So maybe we need to do, Ani, a session just on that. That's what I'm thinking, and helping the community know some of those options out there. And maybe we'll spark some ideas and interest from those that may not have considered that before.
Absolutely. That sounds like a good plan. Maybe something for January, since December's
There you
already
go.
booked solid.
There it
And
is.
and of course, we are always looking for special guests for our Together Tuesdays, because we don't want to just babble the whole hour. We definitely want to highlight some of our AMCers in the
Absolutely.
community. And so tonight, I invited some of my awesome friends, many of them who chat every Saturday, in the adult Zoom session, which is really cool. So some of you guys are here tonight, so that's really cool. So I did cheat. And I did post in the moms group, and I had some questions come in for you guys. So if you have an answer for these questions, please, chime in. Obviously, introduce yourself, tell everybody where you're from, how you became associated with AMCSI, or anything else you want to share. But I thought we would start off with the questions from our community members, and these particular questions came from AMC moms. So our first question for tonight, you ready for this? The biggest thing you wish your parents would have or would not have done? Anybody? Maybe?
Looks like Bryce wants to say something. We can't
Uh-oh.
hear you.
We can't hear you, Bryce.
You are super silent, my friend.
Well, while Bryce gets his microphone working, I actually have a thing that my parents did that I really, really liked. There were two of them. I was the last of 5 children, and so that helped because it was not as easy to spoil me. The other siblings were going to make sure that I did my share of the chores, the ones I could do, I was going to do. And my parents never told me how crippled they thought I was. I didn't find out until they were much older that, when my parents were aging and some of their self-restraint was going away, my mom started talking to me that I was her little crippled Stevie. And she never, ever let on anything about that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was all about stand up, do your share, get your job going. Now, they were also inventive about helping me find ways to do things. So I never felt unable. I was always able to do things, even though, was impacted. But anyway, I just pass that on to parents. Don't protect that child too much. Let them get out there and risk breaking a bone and other things like that. It's they gotta try life.
Stephen, going off what you're saying, but kind of the opposite. I'm the youngest and I'm the only girl. So I was absolutely spoiled. But I also had 2 older brothers, and to the same extent, like don't try to bubble wrap just because somebody has a disability doesn't mean that you can't play WWE in the living room with your 2 older brothers. And did my brother break my femur once? Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But Was I
Look at Harold's
laughing?
face.
Was I laughing the whole time because it was so much fun?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yep. Some of my
Yes.
best memories are all of us rumbling with each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so like I agree with what you're saying. Like don't
Yeah. Yeah, same thing.
don't bubble wrap.
I got a twin brother and a younger brother. And it's same thing, yeah, just us. Same thing like Steven said, like my parents never even really like said, oh well, you're disabled, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like I've always like would come home, I want to go to try Girl Scouts, I want to try Army Cadets, I want to try, they always let me try whatever I wanted to do.
Can't was not in our vocabulary.
Exactly. Like they always at least gave me a shot to try it, and then let me figure out for myself if it was something that I could or could not do. But I'm thankful they did all the treatments. I was born in 75, so back then a lot of surgeries was kind of more the normal course of action. So a lot of foot surgeries. Am I having some foot issues now that I'm 48? Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't, I'm glad they did it. I just deal with it as it comes up.
Yeah, I think I piggyback off of what everyone said. I'm Rod, by the way, if anyone doesn't know me. I attend the Saturday sessions a lot. I put up with Sherry on the weekends a lot, but yeah, and just to piggyback on that, I think the thing that I would have liked to have more is maybe just understanding what the importance of all the therapy and all of the different sessions were as a child. Being born in Montgomery, Alabama with this condition, I me and my family, we knew nothing, and we literally knew nothing. I've done all the surgeries. I've had back surgery, spinal surgery, hip surgery, hand surgery, finger surgery, all the surgeries in the world. But I wish I would have known more about just therapies and how important therapy is to our movement and how important it is to our overall functionality. So I think that is something that I wish we knew more about. I'm not mad about it at any form or fashion about it at all, but looking back on it, I do know that certain things would be different. Maybe I would have much more functions than I do currently. And yeah, I guess that would be what I wish more of.
Grace, did you fix your mic by any chance?
No.
No.
Nope.
Still can't hear you. Can you put what you want to say in the chat box and we'll read it?
The only thing I wish my parents would have investigated out more was my lower back, because I have, like most AMCers, that lordosis. I can never pronounce it. The curvature.
Harold can help. Harold can help us. Harold, how do you say that tough word? That's a tough word to say.
Which one, scoliosis or kyphosis? Which are you talking about?
Lordosis. It's lordosis.
Lordosis.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, and I don't know if that ever can be fixed or corrected, but when I keep asking my parents about it, they're like, they were just more worried to get in my feet straight and in the right position, and that was kind of like, off to the back burner.
I'd like to piggyback a little on what Rod said. There is one thing that I wish, now that I'm thinking about it, that my parents had done. It wasn't available. Sherry, I'm 20 years both sides of you. I was born in 54 and I'm 69 now.
Oh, wow.
But they didn't understand trauma. And I spent a lot of time in the hospital. And one of the survival skills that I learned is to always be cheerful. And I am always cheerful. I'm not in touch at all with any of my negative emotions. Been going to counseling for a little while, and that they keep telling me, you know, like, have some compassion for the little kid in the bed. And so it has negatively impacted my marital relationship and my relationship with my kids, just because I'm I'm sometimes not aware of some of those things. So today there's much more counseling and support that's available for kids, and don't neglect that. Even as you're encouraging your kid to stand on their own, uh, it wasn't available to my parents, but it's available to the ones, Annie, who are asking you, and tell them, do that. Don't miss that opportunity.
Yeah, I have to agree. Because I did manage to get I was born in Canada, so all my stuff was done up in Canada, at the Children's Hospital in Ontario. Um, but yeah, like I look at my girl, all the comments were out there. She's such a joyful child. She's such a cheerful child, and it was just, put on, the brave, happy face or whatever. Not, and we talked about this on the adult Zoom session, because some of us have had surgeries as an adult. Back when I turned 41 or 42, we went karaoke one night. I tripped and fell. I broke and dislocated my left elbow. So, so finding an orthopedic surgeon and doing all that stuff, but I had not really remembered a lot of the surgeries. Like, I remember being in the hospital now, but when they start rolling me back towards the OR and you see the fluorescent lights above you, and then you get into the operating room and you start feeling the smells and all that stuff, it comes back. Like, it's amazing how you can remember that stuff from. So I guess, yeah, maybe more awareness around that part.
I think I agree. I think mental health drives into it a lot as well. Like, yes, we do have a physical disability, but also there's a lot of stuff, like, for example, like medical trauma that comes along with that. And like, before 2021, my most recent surgery was when I was in second grade. I was, no, I don't know, however old you are in second grade. And then didn't have a surgery till I was 28. And so I completely when I went in for my surgery, everything came back to hit me. And this was still during like the height of all the COVID restrictions, and they weren't gonna let my mom go back to like OR prep with me and things like that. And the receptionist like saw the look on my face, and she's like, do you need to go with her? Like, to my mom. They asked if my mom and my mom was like, you're gonna be dealing with a lot worse than her looking terrified. Sorry, that was my oven timer. You're gonna deal with a lot worse than her looking terrified if I don't go back with her. And so I think, like I said, like, the mental health side of things is also super, super important, especially around things like medical trauma, or even like in school. Like, little kids are mean. When someone looks different, little kids are mean. And so I learned from a very early age, first of all, how to explain in children's terms why I look a little different and why my feet look funny. And just kind of educating others about it as well would have been a lot more helpful, like when I was a kid.
Absolutely, that makes perfect sense. So I'm going to just read a few comments before I move on to the next question. Bryce finally got his input in. So he says that he's working, obviously. He's thankful that his parents never let him use his disability as a crutch, and that he was treated the same as his sibling. And then Felicity, hi Felicity, I see you online. She said, I liked how when I got to be to be an age of enough understanding that my mom let me make the choices on what surgeries I did and did not want to try. It made me feel like I had control over my body situation. And Donna chimed in and said, I wish my parents involved me in adaptive sports sooner. She didn't start until she was in her late 20s. And Amanda chimed in and said that she's happy when her mom lets her try things, and that she was able to sign her up for Girl Guides in Canada. And I think we got everyone on our chat and on Facebook Live. Did I miss
Abby's chiming in
anything?
too. Yeah, your
Oh,
own
Abby.
child.
Oh, my
Yeah,
own child. Teach your kids to advocate for themselves has helped me so much growing up. Oh, yes. She was a fighter. She was a fighter, especially in her IEP meetings. So definitely. Oh, yes, Nikki, don't burn your house down. So I would love to hear from anybody else, Harold, or anybody that might have some feedback from some of the things that were shared. It'll be interesting to hear. Anybody, or Alexis as a mom? I know this touches us because we're like, oh.
It's funny because we just got back from an IEP meeting and they are signing up my youngest for a self-advocacy workshop that is like a 9-unit middle school class. And I just thought that was the best idea. There's a need for people to speak up. And so she was at her own IEP meeting and making that a goal, and and then they're both in both of my AMC kids are in therapy, and they have said a lot of the same things, like the smell of the hospital, watching a doctor in a white coat, stuff like that will just bring it all back. And they've been through enough surgeries that is traumatic. And trauma is not what you go through, it's how your body processes it. So everyone can go through surgeries. We have so many AMC families going through lots of surgeries, and you can actually come out of it relatively unscathed, or it can be the most traumatic thing your whole system has ever gone through. And just recognizing that, I could have a surgery and feel one way about it, and someone else could have a surgery and that is totally valid, that they feel the worst, that is, so I had 3 kids with AMC when we were fostering, and all 3 went to get, I think the 2 oldest had casts on both on their left arms. They were little twins. And the youngest one had casts on both legs. And they all went into the casting room. They all had the same tech, our favorite, Laura. And they all had the same, color choices and experience. And we left, and they all 3 had wildly different reactions emotionally, psychologically, to that process. So just that is so valid, and therapy can't be undersold when it comes to, even though this is COVIDian experience, so it's an everyday thing for us to go through casts, to go through, physical therapy, but it is very, very valid. Even though all your friends are going through it, all your AMC friends, you need support that's valid.
And I think
Absolutely.
I think finding like a medical team, or even just like one person, a nurse, an anesthesiologist, that's a hard word.
You said it just right.
Finding people that are not just good at their jobs, but are also decent human beings is so stinking important. Like when again, my most recent surgery, I use it as an example because it's the only one I really remember. And like when I was freaking out in like the pre-op room, and I had my headphones in and I was like blaring music, and they came in, they're like, all right, it's time to go. And they told me to give my headphones and my phone back to my mom. And again, I freaked out. And my mom was like, is there any way she can, like, can you just take her headphones out when you get in there and put her phone off to the side or anything like that? And they're like, oh, we really can't. And the anesthesiologist, like, he stepped up and he was like, hey, I have Spotify on my phone. What do you want to listen to? And my mom told him, because at this point I was so freaked out, I had gone completely nonverbal. My mom was like, just put on anything from Fall Out Boy and she'll be fine. And so he did. He brought up Spotify, he hit play, and he set that down right next to my head. And that's the last thing I really remember. So it blocked out, like Sherry was saying, like that traumatic part of being rolled back into the OR. I don't have memory of that because the last thing I would remember was him putting on my favorite music. I sent him a basket of muffins like a week
Wow.
later because I was like, this guy's an
Awesome.
angel. I love
That
him.
that was compassion when you needed it
Exactly.
most. Yeah.
Exactly. And then when I went back for a follow-up and they were taking the stitches out, that's never fun. And this nurse, like, she knew that I was focusing on the uncomfortableness of getting stitches taken out of my ankle. And so she just started a conversation. I was wearing short sleeves, so she was asking me about my tattoos. And so I told her the story of my tattoos and everything. And then by the time I was done yammering, they were done. And I was like, I see what you did there. Thank you.
That's awesome. So there's a good bit of commentary going on in Facebook chat right now. So that's awesome because you're doing us a favor for our Facebook algorithm to hit the news feed maybe today. So I definitely appreciate that. Keep talking, Felicity. Keep talking. Okay, so let's go on to the next question because I definitely want to. I have 4 so far, and then hopefully more will come in as people see that we're online. Biggest regret that you wish you would have or would not have done in your youth.
Oh,
The-
can I please go first on this?
Yes, go ahead, Rod.
Oh, if I could talk to my younger self, don't be so shy. I was totally shy to a fault. I think I don't think I know my disability played a part of that. I know the AMC played a part of that. And I didn't realize that it played a part of it until probably about a year and a half ago. Once I finally started working, in my career field, I realized I had a total shift, and I realized that there are people that really will value you and really do see value in yourself. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there, and that was something that I just did not do as a child, and even in my younger adult years. I kept my nose down to the ground, always focused on books, 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 school, 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 study, study, studies, and really didn't really focus on the life aspect of life. And that is something that I totally regret now. I'm definitely trying to make up for it as we speak now. But that is something that I wish I invested in myself more, and now I have to learn to be more graceful to myself about that as well. And that's just I guess the lessons of life that I'm living. So yeah, I think I think that would be my biggest regret.
Thank you for sharing, Rod. I appreciate that. Anybody else? Erin is on Facebook and she said, embrace my AMC. So that is very similar to what you shared, Rod.
And we
Anyone
keep
else?
seeing people log on, by the way. I keep admitting people. So there'll be some more comments and variety in opinions.
Awesome.
I don't know if you
Thanks,
saw Bryce's comment. Biggest regret was not knowing what orthograde postage was until the age of 19. We do hear that a lot, don't we, amongst the community
Do.
and even board members.
Yes,
Um,
definitely.
yeah.
I think a big thing is, and I mean this not just for people with AMC, not just for people with any disability, but like people in general, is to not care so much about what people think of you. I was terrified to wear flip-flops in high school. We were allowed to. And I was so scared to wear flip-flops because, oh no, someone's gonna say something about my feet. So, and like now at 30 years old, I can say that. I can say, so. But 14-year-old me was like, no, must not show feet. And so I think like going off of that, like that thing, if I could talk to my younger self, I would say like really, really, it does not matter what people think or say. It matters what you think or say.
Abby wrote, be more confident in myself. Don't be scared to use my disability as a way to teach people more about me. Take more opportunities to do more that my body allows me to do. And I think that that's part of what you were saying, Nikki, as well, right? Taking chances, standing in your power, acknowledging that in some ways you may be different, but so what? We already are all different. So
Harold will love this one. This is from Amanda, and she says, not stop where her braces on her feet or her legs. So I know Harold would absolutely love that one. And then there is a lot of folks that are chiming in about embracing their AMC. And let's see what
I would say,
else.
yeah, after going back into AFOs a couple of years ago, I probably agree with that one. Is yeah, I should have kept wearing it.
That's
should
right.
have, would have, could have.
They all try to get the
If I
idea
could, if
from-
I could talk to my current self, I would say, and it's not gonna happen. But I wear shoes because they're cute, not because they're comfy. I should wear better shoes,
But I think it's a
but like
difference.
they're cute.
Go ahead, Harold.
I think it's a difference between wearing braces as a kid than as an adult. As an adult, you wear them primarily for function. As a kid, you wear them for function, but also to stop those dreaded foot deformities from coming back. And that's also a tough thing. So I try to instill in parents that, look, you wear the braces like it's kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't like, I'm going to be rebellious. I'm going to stop brushing my teeth, because we all know that's not a good thing. And the same thing with the braces, because you got to have a lot of parents who are like, well, I wanted to give my kid a break, so I let them stop wearing the braces. You know, like that's going to come around and bite us later.
Listen, I'll fess up to this one. I had a brace as well, full torso because of scoliosis. And I had to wear it for 4 years, 23 hours a day. Could only take it out 1 hour to shower. And I wanted to cheat so badly. I would try to take it out at night. My parents would come in and check if I was sleeping with it because I was supposed to, because my curve was so bad. And every so often, especially summertime, I would do it. I had to wear it to the beach and with an oversized shirt on top. So I may not have AMC, but I had a very ugly, very noticeable brace that you couldn't escape, and it was darn hot. And back then, and I'm dating myself, I'm 50, so back then they were polyurethane and thick, and there were no holes for breathing, and I would get a rash. It was just horrible. And so yeah, we can all look back and say, I wish I had, because now I still have back issues, and I still have weakness in my hips, and I still have one leg that's shorter than the other, and all of these things that we don't really want to talk about and impact our mobility, impact our everyday life. And so, Nikki, do your thing. You like your shoes, wear them.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
and okay, the other thing that I'm super jealous of, like the first conference that I went to was when I was 19. So whatever 30 minus 19 is, that many years ago. I can't do math. But the first conference I went to, and I saw like younger kids that had AFOs or some sort of, and they had like monster trucks and princesses on them. I'm like, all I got was ugly plastic color.
Well, they have evolved. Now they're cool looking. So
Exactly,
they're cool kids.
They're cool looking now. I have a friend who has Bluey on her braces, and I'm like, I'm 30 years old and I want Bluey on my braces.
Well, Harold and the other Harolds of the world have to find a way to convince the kids to wear them.
I'm just like I was just so jealous. I'm like,
So they got creative.
all I got was ugly plastic color, and you guys have
Aw.
monster trucks.
Yeah. So I have a comment from Facebook I'd like to read because I know a lot of this might resonate with a lot of you in here as well as at home. But is it Anne? Yes, Anne shared that she would wear long sleeve shirts to hide her hands, and she wished she wasn't ashamed back then. Any thoughts on that? And we have a good amount of feedback, and I think Courtney also added fear, hate, and shame around disability. Being disabled made me a quiet person. I believe people saw my chair before they saw me. That's my biggest regret, letting those emotions hold me back. I didn't have the vocabulary to explain AMC in my youth. And then
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted and interested in Harold's dog.
he is very
I
cute.
haven't seen it. I'm looking at the comments. Oh, there it is. It's
Oh
so
my God.
cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he
One thing that I regret about, and I don't know how I would have fixed it, but because I spent in the 50s, I spent every summer in the hospital for 2 to 3 months, mostly in K-wire attraction. So my whole grade school experience, I never really learned how to keep and have a friend. And so, I'm really jealous of my wife who has lifelong friends that she connects with. And, for me, all friends are temporary. So I don't know how I would help my child self learn how to have friends under those circumstances. I'm thrilled every time that I go to the convention and I see kids running around together. And there was no such thing when I was a kid. So that's one of the huge things the convention does is connect people. But yeah, learning how to make and be a good friend. I see some of the comments that people write about their traumas, why don't people like me and things like that. And I think I'm looking at a person who probably didn't learn how to have friendships when they were younger, because that's as an adult, that has very little to do with our AMC and everything to do with our personality.
Absolutely. Doug shares, even though I have been involved with so many activities, I also struggled to appreciate how I did things until I was in my 40s.
Annie, you keep skipping your daughter. She said, I
Oh.
agree with that one. He
Sorry,
says, I have
Abby.
more trouble walking now as I don't wear them at all, and I have asked to get them again. So Harold, that's a brownie point with you.
Sorry, but there's so many
Abby,
comments.
go
Both
go
sides.
in the same room and tell her something.
That's great. Felicity said that to tell Stephen his lifelong friend is right here.
Aw.
Um,
Stephen, you have learned, and I think that this is part of showing grace and being kind to ourselves. Somebody mentioned that before. I think it may have been Rod. You built a life, you built a family, you have a spouse, and you have kids. So clearly, you have learned in your own way to build that bond and build relationships with people. So we can't really compare with others. We all are quirky and awkward in our own ways. At least that's how we all tend to see ourselves. That's part of our vulnerability, whether we own it or we don't. So we all have our struggles and our wish I did, wish I was better, wish I was more comfortable. You built
Yeah.
a full life, And I
Yep.
watched you at conference. You approached me and approached others, willing to help and wanting to do more. So clearly, it is part of who you are. It is a big part of your heart. And at your age, you're still giving back and you're still reaching out to people. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. I'm not having a miserable life, and some of that,
I
is
didn't say
maleness
that.
too. When I get together and talk to other guys my own age, a lot of us aren't very good at making friends. Harold probably has a million friends. He's the only one in the group here that might be close to me in age.
He has a million patients. Who have made up for an extended family, I think.
Yes, yes. Courtney shares body image issues are a struggle with how AMC affects me. I feel underdeveloped. The conference in 2013 has allowed me to see AMC differently, helped me accept AMC. I haven't worn shorts in years because of the lingering body image issues, and that was also shared, I think, by Felicity in the Facebook group chat as well. So I think I covered everybody. Anybody want to chime in on that?
That last comment, that's something that Misha has been hitting hard lately. I don't know if you guys follow her, have seen that, and while at the beach or wearing shorts or showcasing her feet, and she talks quite a big deal about that, and being comfortable in your own skin and living life to the fullest in whatever capacity you can or you choose to. And that's a path that we each follow independently. And piggybacking on what Abby said, taking the opportunity to advocate for yourself and use that opportunity to help educate people. So wear the shorts, own it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to go on to our next question. What would you tell kids or teens with AMC today that you wish you heard when you were a kid or a teenager?
You may not be able to see me. Can you hear me, Alan?
Yes, I can hear you, Doug. Go ahead, Doug.
Okay. Only because anyway, I overheard my mom say this to a friend of hers when I was in my teens. And she was talking to one of her close friends in another room, and I was passing through. And my mom said to her friend, I just don't know what to say to him, and I know he's hurting. And it was really about rejection of dates while I was a teenager. And, I think that's so important to, no matter how awkward it may be, and to know that an AMCer, something's inside and wanting the same as so-called normality. But it's a hard thing to address. Just start to address it, no matter how awkward it would be.
We're losing you, Doug.
Yeah, we didn't hear the last part.
To parents, it may be an awkward thing and a hard thing to talk about because the parents' personal experiences are different than that child, that teen who is struggling because of, well, I would never go out with you, look at you, or something like that I know I dealt with. And when I overheard my mom saying, I just don't know how to talk to him about this, I would say I wish he would have just started to, because I know it led for me for a lot of different problems that I still face. And I'm 61 now. So talking parent to teen, I think that's an awkward thing no matter what the teenager situation's like, AMC or not. But it's wonderful when parents talk. And nowadays, my mom and I are best friends.
Aww.
Related to what Doug just said, I would float the concept that these feelings, we see them in the context of our AMC, but they are not abnormal to teenagers. I mean, these kinds of things are quite normal. I have 4 kids, and they all went through teenage trauma and loneliness that matched my own. And none of them have arthrogryposis. They, have their own flaws. So, so being able to talk to your children and doing it sooner, and waiting till they're teens is too late. You got to start talking to them in their earlier years, so that by the time you get to teenagehood, you've established the ability to have a dialogue, because so many hormones are going crazy in the teenagers that if they don't have something to normalize those conversations, they're really hard to get. But yes, talk to your kids sooner the better. I'm 100% with you, Doug.
It's hard. I have 2 teenagers, and when mine were younger, at least my son, he wanted to be a model. That was the boy everybody looked at, just beautiful little boy. And once he hit around 11, 12, he had cystic acne, so bad that his entire face, entire back and shoulders covered. He's got scars everywhere. And it didn't matter what treatment we went through. We even got braces. I mean, we tried everything else that we could, but it was just really, really that bad. And so he started letting his hair grow and, walk around with his hair down like this or with a hoodie on. And it was at the same time that the shootings were happening in schools. And so every time that he had a hoodie on, people would look at him funny, only exacerbating the situation. So to your point, Stephen, every child struggles with that just as much as every parent. And we see our beautiful little babies growing up. And I don't think that any parent knows how to tackle that, because we simply do not know how those young teenage years are going to play out for that child, not only internally, hormonally, physically. I mean, the same, my son, the same child I'm talking about, he grew 15 inches in 1 year. And so he just stretched out, skin and bone, and everybody was looking upwards. And on top of that, covered in acne. So he got a lot of nicknames and not the nice ones. And how do you talk to them about that? And I know that people may say, watching, say, well, you can't compare that to AMC. The pain and trauma and the feeling of I don't fit in is felt by all kids, and it's just part of adolescence and what they go through. And when us parents say we wish kids were born with a manual, parenting manual, we really do mean that, because how do you maneuver through that? You want to protect them, but you want to encourage them to advocate and stand up for themselves, yet not cross the line, still be diplomatic. And it is it's a challenging one, and I don't think that we ever get it quite right. We do our best. We try young. And, now mine are 18 and 19, and they tell me, I remember when you told me that. You were right. And then most of the time is, I remember you told me that. And you were so wrong. And so, live and learn. We try, we try our best. We have our own biases. We have our own experiences that we bring into that. And this is why there's a sense of community. And this is one of the things I love about AMCSI and the mom groups and the adult groups, and that these discussions can happen openly. I didn't have that when my kids were young. The community was anybody you wanted to talk to, and most people did not want to talk about these things. So at least here, there's platforms and opportunities and camaraderie and support where moms, parents, adults, other teenagers can speak about these things and share those experiences, share those best practices, and hopefully what worked for some kids may work for some others as well. So I'll shut up because I can go on a soap opera on that one with everything my kids have gone through and continue to. But I'd love to hear from some of you who have teenagers right now. I see, Alexis, you have one with you right now. Not to put you on the spot, but Violet is with you. So I would be really curious to know, how do you guys handle these conversations as your kids are getting to that age?
Shrug.
Come on, Violet.
So this is my 13-year-old, new to the teenage years, and heard we were talking about advice to young people and was like, ooh, what advice would you have for us? And I've got my 16-year-old over there doing homework. But yeah, she's on her phone. You were ratted out.
Mom's not watching. That's why.
Yeah, mom's in a meeting. Do what we want. We have some therapists that we got for medical trauma that have, and California has a program, Early Head Start, where a teacher comes to your house if your child has a disability. And I feel like my community has walked me through how to parent. The teacher coming over walked me through child development lessons and how to connect, and toddler massage, and all of those things. And we've had a social worker who helped us with bonding, just because we have kids that aren't biologically ours, and going through that. And then doing just the therapists in our lives right now really hold your hand and help you reframe things. And I just feel like if I was left on my own without a community, we would not be doing as well and thriving. And I really appreciate my AMC community and my local community. And I'm a big proponent of community and working together and holding each other up and supporting each other, because don't make me go through this alone. I would not do very well.
So I'm just curious, for others who are listening today who may not have the same community that you have, or the resources, because California, it sounds as though it's quite unique in that manner. What are some of those best lessons learned that, sorry, Annie, I'm taking the question in a different direction, but are there any takeaways that have really been integral or critical to your success that you can share with others who may not have heard of those or exposed? What are some of those aha things that you got to take away that you may want to share with others?
I think the teacher that they send to your house kept saying, "Stop hovering. She's struggling to do something. Let her struggle." And my mommy instinct was to pick up my babies and do stuff for them. But I wouldn't have done that if they were able-bodied. So why am I doing it now? Why am I not letting them try? And just putting my whole fist in my mouth and biting down and just letting them do it themselves has really made them both really independent. So that was, I think, you're probably my most independent, I think. But that has been my biggest tip.
Hi, Anna.
Hi, Anna.
I'll piggyback on that just a little bit. Of course, I have the AMC, but I have nieces and nephews. So, and one thing that I tell my oldest niece is always do your best, but that's all we ask, is that you do your best. I only want you to do your best. I know that there's going to be a time, and trust me, she's a straight A student all the way through. She's never made a B in her life. But I tell her all the time, I was like, that's all well, fine, and dandy, but just know that when the time comes that when you do make a B, it's not the end of the world. You will live and you will survive. So,
That's true.
basically, I guess I'll say all of that just to say, it's all right to always strive for perfection, but don't be afraid to make that mistake. Don't be afraid. And just know that if you do make that mistake, you have people that's around you that is going to pick you up, and they're going to help you wipe off that dirt and help you get back in the game. So that's something that I preach to my oldest niece. Gonna start preaching it to my nephew real soon, and I'm gonna be preaching it to my youngest niece in a few years. She's 5, so I have some time there.
We have
yeah.
some we have some advice from Courtney as far as the parent. She said, I'd say at the very least that you're not alone. Don't clam up. Talk to somebody that you trust.
And Anna shares on Facebook, I wish I had been told as a teenager that the struggles I would face was so hard growing up to gain friends, be accepted, and accept myself.
That's a universal truth for every
Yes.
child and even adults, right? Learn to accept yourself.
Absolutely.
We're perfectly imperfect or imperfectly perfect, whichever way it goes.
Absolutely. So guess what, guys? We're out of time for Together Tuesdays. It is almost 10 p.m. Abby came
There's
to join me.
Abby.
So what do you guys think? Should we do these chats maybe once a month with our adult community? And then have some questions. I think it's really important to hear from everyone. Maybe we'll even get an AMC moms chat together on Zoom. So I appreciate all of you coming and joining us. I know for some of you it's super late. So I really appreciate it. I know, Alexis, it's still early for you. Hopefully not too early and not interrupting your dinner time. But it's so nice to see all of your faces. I hope you will come back next week. Next week, we have Marty Sheedy joining us at the Project Scissorgate Foundation. And so I'm super excited about that. So it looks like everybody on Facebook says, yes, let's do this again. So community chat with our AMC adults. We'll line that up for January, and I'll let you in, and everybody is invited to come back. And of course, we'll get some questions from the community to ask as well.
Yeah.
All right, Ted, close us down.
Well, we want to thank everybody again tonight. It was a great session. We love seeing everybody here and joining us. And tonight's secret word is, what did we say? We said snowflake. So if you guys are watching us tonight and you email that into info@amcsupport.org, the first 5 people to do so will get a special gift from our shop. And again, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And we have Marty coming up next week. And follow us on socials at amcsupport.org, and be safe and be strong, people. Take care.